The banker's handshake was firm, practiced, the kind that came with million-dollar deals and decades of confidence. Her smile was polite but distant as she slid the final document across the polished mahogany desk. "Congratulations, Mr. Lawson," she said. "The sale of Lawson Industrial Solutions is now complete. $73 million, transferred and cleared." Her words echoed faintly in the room, bouncing off glass and silence. For a long moment, I just stared at the paper in front of me. The logo that once meant everything to me now looked foreign, like the ghost of a life I'd already lived. 32 years. That's how long it took to build that company. 32 years since I'd welded my first set of parts in a rented garage, scraping by on side jobs for local contractors. 32 years since I believed that hard work alone could rewrite the story of a man who once stood in a food bank line wondering if life would ever change. And yet, here I was. $73 million. A number that meant freedom to some, closure to others. To me, it meant irony, because 18 years ago, I didn't have $73 to my name. I remembered it like it was yesterday, a gray morning in East Vancouver, the sky spitting rain, the line at the food bank curling around the block. My hands were cracked, my pride gone, my stomach empty. I had one bag of groceries in exchange for my last shred of dignity. That was the day my son, Ryan, decided he no longer had a father. He'd come by the house, the one about to be repossessed. His car gleamed in the driveway, a BMW that wasn't his but belonged to his fiancée's family. He stood there, adjusting his perfect tie, avoiding my eyes. "You're an embarrassment, Dad," he said coldly. "Claire's father is a doctor. What am I supposed to tell them? That my dad can't even keep a job?" He said it like a verdict, not in anger, but with finality. Then he turned, walked back to the car, and drove away. That was the last time I saw him. For 18 long years. The banker cleared her throat, breaking my thoughts. "Would you like us to arrange financial management services, Mr. Lawson?" "No," I said simply. "I built this myself. I'll handle it myself." She nodded, half smiling, and left me alone with the sound of wealth and silence. I pocketed the banker's card and stepped out into the crisp Toronto air. Bay Street was alive with ambition. Men in tailored suits, women in heels, everyone chasing something. Success, approval, escape. I wasn't sure which one I belonged to anymore. The wind cut sharp through my coat. The glass towers gleamed like mirrors, reflecting versions of me I no longer recognized. The dreamer, the builder, the father, the man who lost it all. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. For a second, I almost ignored it. But habit, or fate, made me swipe. "Hello." There was a pause, and then a voice I hadn't heard in almost 2 decades. Older, strained, but unmistakably his. "Dad." My steps froze. The noise of the city faded into nothing. My throat tightened. 18 years of silence dissolved into one fragile word. "It's Ryan," he said. I need to talk to you. It's important." Every rational thought screamed to hang up. But I didn't. I couldn't. "How did you get this number?" I asked quietly. "I hired someone, a private investigator." He hesitated. "Look, I know we haven't spoken, but I saw the article about your company's sale." "Dad, I'm in trouble. Real trouble. Please, can we meet?" I took a breath. 18 years. And now he needed something. "Where are you?" "Toronto. Shangri-La Hotel." Of course he was. The most expensive hotel in the city. Not exactly where a man in real trouble hides. But curiosity and something deeper got the better of me. "I'll be there in an hour." The Shangri-La lobby was all polished marble and quiet power. The kind of place where money whispered instead of shouted. A pianist played something soft in the corner. I gave the concierge his room number. "Mr. Lawson is expecting you," she said with a smile. "Room 2847. I knocked once. The door opened. Ryan stood there. Older now, lines around his eyes, shoulders slumped beneath a designer shirt that didn't quite fit anymore. His hair was thinner, his eyes tired, his confidence replaced by desperation. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. "Dad," his voice cracked slightly. "Combien?" The suite was enormous. Skyline view, crystal decanters, the faint scent of whiskey. But the glamour ended there. Empty bottles on the counter, unpaid bills stacked on the table, and a laptop full of red numbers told the real story. "Nice place," I said evenly. He gave a bitter laugh. "It's not mine. Claire's family owns part of the hotel chain. We're separated. Have been for 6 months. You said you're in trouble." He exhaled, rubbing his face. "I'm bankrupt, Dad. The business failed. I owe $700,000. Claire filed for divorce. Her parents cut me off. I've got nothing left." He looked up at me, eyes wet, voice trembling. "I know what I did. I know I don't deserve to ask, but you're my father. I just need help. Maybe $1 million, enough to start again." I said nothing, just watched him. The silence between us grew thick and heavy. "Tell me something, Ryan," I finally said. "In 18 years, did you ever wonder if I was alive? If I was okay?" He looked down. "I thought about you. I just couldn't." "Couldn't what?" I asked quietly. "Dial a phone? Send an email? Or couldn't face the fact that you chose your wife's family's money over your own father?" It wasn't like that. It was exactly like that. I walked to the window, looking out over the city I'd built my empire in. "Do you want to know what happened after you cut me off?" He didn't answer. So I told him. I spent 3 months in a basement apartment, applying for jobs. No one wanted to give a 51-year-old man. When the money ran out, I started going to food banks. Sold everything I owned, except my tools. Your mother's wedding ring paid 2 months' rent. I turned back to face him. He was crying now, quietly, ashamed. One night, I had $43 left. I could have given up, or I could have used it to start something. So I registered a business, Lawson Industrial Solutions. I smiled faintly. Mobile welding at first. Construction sites. Factories. Sometimes I slept in my truck. Ate 1 meal a day. Worked 16 hours. But I kept going. It took 2 years to survive. 5 to grow. 10 to expand. 15 to build something worth buying. 18 to become the man standing in front of you today. He covered his face with his hands. "I am sorry, Dad. I was wrong. I was cruel. I regret it every day." "I believe you," I said softly. "But regret doesn't rebuild trust. And it doesn't erase what you came here for today." I reached into my jacket and pulled out an envelope. Inside is a check for $50,000. He blinked. "That's not nearly enough." I finished for him. "It's enough for a roof, food, and a year to rebuild. But there are conditions." He looked up confused. "1," I said, "you'll pay back every cent from honest work, not family handouts. 2, you'll go to therapy. You've got wounds money won't fix. 3, you'll volunteer 20 hours a month at a food bank, shelter, wherever people are at rock bottom. And 4," I paused, "you'll write me a letter every month. Handwritten. No requests, no updates. Just reflections on what you're learning. I may never reply, but you'll write them." He stared at me. "You can't be serious." "I'm completely serious." He exhaled. 50,000 for 18 years of nothing. That's what I'm worth." "No," I said quietly. "That's what you're worth to yourself right now. I'm giving you the chance to prove you can be more than that." He looked at the envelope like it was both salvation and insult. "Why?" he whispered. "I don't deserve this." "You're right," I said, heading for the door. "But I do. I deserve to know I tried." I turned the handle, then paused. "You spent $5,000 on a private investigator to find me, so you could ask for $1 million. Think about that." He said nothing, just sat there shattered. "When people have money, Ryan," I added, "the ghosts always come back. I just needed to know which one you'd be, a son or a vulture." I left the room, the soft click of the door sealing 18 years of pain and one fragile chance at redemption. 3 months passed before the first letter came. Handwritten, neat, careful. He'd gotten a job at a manufacturing plant in Mississauga. Floor work, not management. His back hurt, his pride hurt worse, but he was trying. He mentioned therapy, volunteering, a man named Daniel at the shelter who reminded him of me. I didn't reply, but I kept the letter. Month after month, they came. Longer, deeper, honest. He wrote about humility, discipline, gratitude, things he'd never understood before. About how the hum of machinery made him feel grounded again. About how he was learning to fix more than metal. He was fixing himself. By month 9, he paid back $10,000. By month 12, $25,000. By month 18, every cent, plus interest I'd never asked for. And with that final check came a 10-page letter. He wrote about the man he used to be, shallow, entitled, afraid, and the man he was becoming, grounded, grateful, rebuilding his soul, not his bank account. He'd met someone. Her name was Emily. She worked at the shelter. She knew everything, and she stayed anyway. His closing lines stayed with me. Love without respect, without sacrifice, without honor, is just an empty word. You didn't just give me money, Dad. You gave me a mirror. And for the first time, I like the man I see in it. I read the letter 3 times. Outside, the September sun sank behind the Toronto skyline, painting gold across the windows. I dialed his number. He answered immediately. Hello. There's a coffee shop on Queen Street East, I said. The Daily Grind. Saturday, 9 a.m. Come alone. A long pause. Then, I'll be there. Thank you, Dad. Don't thank me yet, I said. We've still got work to do, real work. Anything, he said. Then start here. The next time you wonder if I'm proud of you, look in the mirror. Be proud of that man. Because I am. After I hung up, I stepped out to my back deck. A small garden grew there. Herbs, tomatoes, a few stubborn carrots. Nothing fancy. Just life. The city hummed quietly beyond the fence. Car horns, laughter, the rhythm of ordinary days. My hands still liked the feel of soil, the reminder that everything worth having starts with getting your hands dirty. I thought about Ryan, about the boy who'd left me in the driveway, and the man now trying to find his way back. Maybe we'd rebuild something. Maybe not. But for the first time in 18 years, I had something I hadn't had in a long time. Hope. Because I finally understood, success isn't measured in money. It's measured in character. And character isn't built by what you're given. It's built by what you overcome. I overcame poverty, loss, abandonment. Now it was my son's turn. And as the sun dipped behind the Toronto skyline, I smiled. For the first time in years, I was truly at peace. You just heard a story of betrayal, survival, and quiet revenge. If it left you thinking, hit like, share it forward, and subscribe for more true emotional stories that'll stay with you long after they end. Every click helps another story find its voice.